Greg, what do you make of the announcement late this afternoon from Penny Wong confirming that 860 visas have been approved for Palestinians with connections to Australia between the period of October 7 to November 20? I note a recent study published by the Arab World for Research and Development, and this is last week, that shows that 75% of Arab Palestinians support the Hamas terror attacks on the 7th of October. How confident can we be that we're not importing Hamas terror into this country?
Well, this is a very difficult question, Peter, and I think this government is becoming incredibly ragged in foreign affairs and national security generally, and I've up till now been prepared to give them the benefit of the doubt. But how extensive and reliable are security checks undertaken by Australian authorities in Gaza? Of course, every human being would have compassion for innocent civilians who have suffered in Gaza, and the moral responsibility for their suffering rests entirely with the Hamas terrorist group. And instead of calling on Israel to exercise restraint, the Albanese government might have been calling on Hamas to surrender itself to the International Court of Justice to face war crimes trials for their atrocities on October 7, and to release the hostages, which would make a cessation of fighting much more likely. If these are innocent civilians, it's good that we give them shelter. On the other hand, what recent weeks have revealed is that there is a really terrible tradition of Arab anti-Semitism alive and well, which is mixing in with all the other anti-Semitism, which is resurgent all over the world. And it's not only that the vast majority of Palestinians support the Hamas atrocities, these were really unspeakable atrocities on October 7, but there is a tremendous tradition of anti-Semitism and hatred of Jews throughout the education system in the territories. And then Penny Wong says, oh, but don't worry, we granted 1,700 visas to Israelis, as though somehow or other, that shows a balance. I mean, this
that cancels
awful
it out.
Moral equivalence that this government goes in for all the time now. I think this is becoming a very shabby government in these matters, and I'm no longer willing to give them the benefit of the doubt or to accept anything on trust. Having said all that, any Palestinian who comes in under these visas has absolutely a welcome from Australia. I mean, if they're here and they're obeying the law and all the rest of it, God bless them, and we wish them deliverance from this terrible conflict, which has been brought about by Hamas.
Which, of course, they voted for many years ago. Greg Sheridan, thank you. I might also mention too, Home Affairs, that department that's under siege, that'll make the assessments of these people coming to Australia. That's led by Claire O'Neill and Andrew Giles, those two ministers I've spent the top of the show talking about. Well, they still do not have a permanent secretary in charge. Michael Pizzullo, that report will come out, we're told, imminently about whether or not he keeps his job.